Jess Hayden from the Susquehanna Folk Music Society, and I'd like to welcome you today to this concert and conversation with the Swedish group Jaerv. The Susquehanna Folk Music Society is based in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area, and we run folk music events all year long, including the Susquehanna Folk Festival that's held the last weekend in July. Now, the Susquehanna Folk Music Society's major sponsors are the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts and the Cultural Alliance of York County. And here to help me with this chat with the band this morning is Grace Lee. So say hi to everyone, Grace.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Jess. I'm adding to the resume, so.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. Grace is a Susquehanna Folk Music Society board member. She's also a hammer dulcimer player, and she's a member of the group Seasons. So she'll help me with the conversation a little bit this morning. So hi, all the way from Sweden to the members of Jaerv. How are you guys doing today?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, doing good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again. Yeah.
Great to see you. This is just wonderful. Now, some of you might know that Jaerv did a concert with us at the beginning of March at the Ware Center in Lancaster. And that was actually our last concert we were able to produce before the pandemic hit, and we had to cancel the rest of our season. And they were able to finish their tour and get back safely to Sweden, which was great, just perfect in terms of timing. But I'm really curious what life has been like for the band since then. So if anyone would like to speak on that, that'd be great.
Joel, want to start?
Well, when we came home from the US, our calendar was quite empty, so to say. I mean, everything was canceled, of course. But luckily, we were contacted by the national TV here in Sweden, Swedish television. And they wanted to do like a midsummer concert with Jaerv and some other artists here from Sweden.
Maybe we should add that the midsummer holidays in Sweden, which occurs around the 20th of July, is like a major holiday here.
Yeah, it's a major holiday.
Traditional holiday with
20th of June.
June. Yeah.
Yes.
20th of June. Yeah. So that's.
So we went out in the archipelago on the west coast here in Sweden. We did a concert, 1 hour concert, and we did our songs, and we also did some songs with the artists. And you can also watch this concert worldwide, actually. So it's there on their like internet, their website. You can see the concert from there.
Congratulations! That sounds really exciting.
Luckily, we got that, and so we're doing actually one more streamed concert, which we will talk about later.
All right, wonderful.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were very, very happy to be able to finish the tour. Actually, we met a few bands touring at some different places, some other bands that were coming in to the US when we were going home to Sweden, and they were really happy for the tours. And then a few days later on Facebook you can really see that they kind of got stuck. The US basically shut down 3 or 4 days after we came back to Sweden. So we were, I mean, the window was it was very narrow. And we could of course feel that something is going on around the world here. I mean, everybody was a little more restrictive with hugging and shaking hands and everything like that. You had this disinfection pumps at all the venues. You can wash your hands and everything, but otherwise we felt it was basically as being over there as usual. But that quickly turned. So, but we also hadn't planned to do a lot of concerts when we came home. So we actually had some air in the calendar for making a new CD, for example, which we are working on. So in terms of how hard we got hit by the pandemic, it's actually we are coming around pretty well. Actually, we didn't have any major tours planned for the spring, for example, which for the other musicians and or like yourself, the Folk Music Society had a lot of things going on that had to be cancelled. So we haven't felt that too badly. But on the other hand, we have no reservations for the future. So that's the next the
Yeah.
pandemic level 2. That's what's
Yeah.
we are have to see what's happening there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's again, it's really great speaking to you, and I'm curious if you could tell us a little bit about your style, what people are going to be hearing when they tune into the live stream concert. Will be happening pretty soon. So tell us about the style that you play, the music that you blend together, the instruments you use, and that type of thing.
Well, we basically play Scandinavian folk music, Swedish folk music, and we blend in jazz and the pop influences. So that's basically what we do.
Yeah,
but we also try to. Sorry.
No, okay.
Sorry. I was just saying that we try to keep the tradition within the music, so you can dance the traditional dances if you want to, for example. So that's an important thing for us, that you should have the traditional core in the music, and then you blend all these other styles into it. So that's important for us.
And you will hear, yeah.
No, go ahead.
You will hear the very traditional instrument, nyckelharpa, keyfiddle.
I'll actually move around a little bit here because
you can show
we are
us.
actually at the same location around here, but we had to split up. So we'll go. Here's Tobias. This is kind of strange.
It's a meetup.
But here we have the traditional nyckelharpas lying around on the floor after our weekly Friday rehearsal. Yeah, and we also have Tobias's drum kit, which is
not so traditional.
Not so traditional, no, but it still has you have a lot of stuff. And we have our dear little pump organ here.
Wow.
We have another big one. We use those. Yeah, that's right. And Joel has a lot of different wind instruments like flutes. This is more of the standard flute and saxophone, but he also has a lot of Irish whistles and different kinds of wind instruments. And we have our guitarist Harold, who's not here with us today, but he's playing a lot of different guitars, 12-string, 6-string, different tunings. So we have a lot of, you've seen our tour bus, Jess, and it and we always travel to the US with a light version, but here in Sweden it's never that light. Actually, it's like 3 times as much stuff. But we like to experiment with different kinds of sounds that are both traditional and contemporary. So, but as Marcus said, we want to keep it in the style that you could recognize the dance that should be appropriate for each song.
So going back to the nyckelharpa, which you probably already walked away from. But
oh yeah, I did. Should I go and bring it?
That would be great. That would be great. And then while he's gone, I'm curious. And we could bring Grace into this a little bit. We are very familiar with Celtic folk music, and it seems like some of the instruments are the same, but I understand it has kind of a different. Nordic music has a little bit different bass. Can anyone speak to that a little bit, or not? The Nordic music has a little bit different background than Celtic, or is that not true?
Well, maybe I think it's partly true. A lot of the Scandinavian folk music has its roots in classical music. So I think the classical music and the folk music back in the days in Sweden, they were not that far from each other. I think they were played by the same musicians basically. And you can hear in the South Swedish folk music, you can hear a lot of like Baroque sounds in the music. It's very similar to Baroque music actually, sometimes. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
That's like folk music polonaise, and you have polonaises in the classical music also. So I think it's wandered from like how do you say this? Like the society, the high society people, down to
The upper
the
class.
farmers,
The noble
upper
class.
class.
The normal,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
villagers or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So Anders, we can't quite see the nickel harper, so maybe you could, but there
you
you go,
I
okay.
have a bad light here, but oh, there we go. It's a
Oh,
little bit
that's
better, yeah.
perfect. That's beautiful.
It's like a combination. This is the modern one. The older ones could look, they look very different, but the thing they have in common is that they are not played by putting your fingers on the strings. You actually have these keys that you press, and the key in Swedish is nyckel, so nyckelharpa, key fiddle or key harp.
Okay.
These are called keys. So and they are, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, they are painted in black and gold, which actually is corresponding perfectly to how you would look at on the black and white keys on a piano.
Okay.
So if you play the piano, this will be quite straightforward. And if you happen to also play the piano and the violin, you could come around really good because it's played with a bow. And it has drones. That's what they all have in common. They have these, looks like I have a ton of strings to play, but I actually play these bigger ones, and the other ones are
Just in sympathy,
a little bit
probably.
lower. They are distanced. Yeah, the sympathetic strings. So it gives
Maybe
me one
Anders,
of
maybe
sustain.
Anders, you should say that is a modern version of a nickel harpa.
Yeah, I think I just did.
Developed
Yeah.
by you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Okay, the
I think
chromatic.
Yeah, it's developed by a guy named Erik Sahlström in the mid 20th or early 20th century. But the oldest ones are many hundred years old and originates from what today would be like mid-Germany, something like that. And they wandered around Europe and got stuck up here in the north. So they're very common as a folk music, or considered to be a traditional folk music instrument here.
Yeah, and
in parts of Norway too. Yeah.
we have nickel harpa societies in our country, so and you might there too. It's for people with Swedish background. It's a very popular.
One third of the most nickel harpas are still built in Sweden. There are also German builders. I know there are some American too, but the nickel harpas, the distribution around the world is 1/3 to Sweden, 1/3 to the US, and 1/3 to Japan. The Japanese people, they also love things that are strange, so they play this. Yeah.
When you all come and tour in the United States, do you play for a lot of people of Swedish descent? Is that the group you play for, like the festivals, etc.? Is that what you run into a lot?
Yeah, partly. I mean, last summer we played at like 3 midsummer festivals, and
okay.
Yeah, it was Scandinavian and Swedish descendant.
Okay.
People who came to listen to that. So half of the audience is descended from Scandinavia in some way, and half of the people is US.
Yeah, in our state was the first Swedish colony, was around the Philadelphia area. So we have a lot of people of Swedish descent in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So I'd like to really hear about the vocals that you do. It seems like the first time you came in 2009, I believe it was, and played for the Susquehanna Folk Music Society, Marcus was doing the major singing. You were doing a lot of solo work. And now, one of the things I think is most amazing about the group is your 5-part harmony, which is just beautiful. So how did that come to be that you started in my mind a way of thinking anyway with a lot of solo work, and now you've really developed into doing the more choral sound?
Well, part of it,
I mean,
could be that after. Sorry.
You're breaking up. There we go. Yeah.
No, I think we got you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So part of the explanation could be that when we did our vocal parts, the vocal harmonies, like in 2009, 10, 11, in the early years, people always came forth after the concert and said, "Oh, we want more of the vocals. Please sing more." So we have listened to our audience. That's one explanation.
I hope you enjoy it as well as it's
And one other parameter is that in Sweden there's a lot of female vocal folk music groups who sings together, but no male. So we think that we will fit.
We'll fill a gap there. Yeah.
You fill a gap there, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially love the a cappella things that you do. It's just exactly, it's so beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Thank
Really
you.
lovely, yeah. And Marcus, you studied voice when you were in conservatory, is that right?
Yes, I did. I was singing classical music and pop. I didn't study folk music so much though, and have learned that on my own. But it's a little like different style to the ornamentation and things like that. With those like ha ha, you have almost no vibrato when you're singing folk songs, Swedish
Yeah, you have
style.
ornaments instead of an ongoing
Yes.
vibrato. You end phrases with ornaments and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, so that's a little different, but I think it's very interesting, and also a little have things in common with the Baroque music actually.
Okay.
Those those ornaments. So I think it may be, yes, and actually people were singing like this in all Europe in the old days. Very straight notes with a lot of ornaments. So that's quite interesting, the music's history, I think. So we try to sing it a little bit like that, but I also blend in, like, because I've been classically trained, I also like to have a little vibrato and also like have a rich tone when I am singing like folk music, because I want to add my own touch, my own style to it also. Yeah.
And it also fits us. Oh yeah, sorry.
Because I have a quick question that, like, to add to this. Like, your music is very traditional, and like you're not afraid to push boundaries and add your own style to it as well, and like incorporate different genres. Like, where do you find that balance of staying true to tradition but still like adding something new to it?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Tricky question.
We talk a lot about the balance. Yeah.
I think that
sometimes.
Yeah.
Some compositions we have, especially you, Tobias, who write a lot of music, and you have presented things that we played and like, oh yeah, this is really nice, but is it Jaerv, or should we tweak this to be Jaerv? You know, when we go a totally different direction. Just when we are very open to try, let everybody come with their input and try new things. But sometimes we might think that it's not really our sound. So I think we developed this very slowly. That we haven't had any super big discussions about how should we do this. It turns out the way it does because we play as individual musicians the way we do, and then we get kind of as all bands we develop a sound, and as Marcus said before, we want to keep some kind of traditional style to it, and if that's not there at all, then maybe that's not a song that we should do in this constellation.
Right, but like some bands, they really want to keep it very, very traditional, and but we want to develop this music to make it stay alive, and like people have done in all times. I think they have been influenced by other kinds of music styles, and we want to keep adding to this music to keep it alive, because I think otherwise you will have these musicians that only play it very traditionally, and then eventually I think the music will die. Actually, that's my thoughts. Yeah.
That's an interesting question, because a lot of people that want to keep everything the way it should be traditionally, if you ask the question, well, has it always been like this? You might, but the truth is, no, it hasn't. It has developed from every, I mean, this music is traded by ear, so it changed like every time. It's like this whispering game, you know, that goes around, and you never know what comes out the other end. It's kind of like that. So you can't say that it's supposed to be exactly like that or that or that. You can never be sure how it sounded 300 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 400. Who knows?
Yeah, so before we say our goodbyes, I'm wondering if someone could introduce the band members and remind us of the instruments that you play and what we'll hear you play during the concert.
Well, I could start with me then. I'm Anders, and I play the nyckelharpa or key fiddle, and I also play the double bass and some pump organ. And I could also introduce our guitarist, who's not here. That's Harold. He is going to play a lot of different guitars.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm Tobias, and I play the drums over here. Yeah, and some pump organ and everything you can hit with a stick. Yeah.
And I also bring some sticks with me, Irish whistles in all sizes.
Okay.
And different keys. And I'll also bring a soprano saxophone and a flute, one silver one and one wooden one. So that's me. I'm Joel.
Yeah, and I'm Marcus, and I play the violin, and I also sing. Yes, but we all sing. But I
You are the lead singer.
the lead
Let's
singer.
all agree to that.
All right, Grace, you have any last questions, or are we good?
I do have one. So
Oh, wow.
anything like musically or non-musically that you wanted to explore now that there's more time, like there's quarantine and this sickness has been going around and you have a little more free time. Has there been anything you wanted to like try out?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Like we haven't had this like major total lockdown in Sweden.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We haven't. Yeah, we have been home more than usually, but we have also like been working pretty much as usually. Yeah. Also. So I don't know.
I thought that I would have a ton of time to do a lot of recording and stuff,
Right.
you know, but turned out that, yeah, just like Marcus said, it was like a few weeks of, maybe 2 weeks of total shock when I turned my other job. I'm not only a musician, I also teach at the university here in Gothenburg. So I ended up sitting like we are doing now in front of a computer with all my students. So that took a lot of the time I thought I would use in the studio for doing music to just adapt to that situation. And I think you guys have been through kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So all of that time, just, yeah. We still want to do all that stuff, but this spring wasn't the spring that we had the time to do it. So we will hope that we'll be having a record done by October.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds wonderful. So tell us about the online concert we're going to be here in a few minutes that you're going to be recording.
Yeah, the concert takes place in the tower of the Gothenburg Cathedral. So in the middle of the city center, it's a big cathedral, and we'll broadcast from there, streaming live. We do 1 hour concert, lots of nice Swedish folk music, lots of vocals, nice acoustics. And we got one great sound guy and two in the film crew, right?
That's
doing the video footage. So yeah, it will be really looking forward to it. And we invite you to join us for this concert.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's going to be great. We're really looking forward to it. And we'll say goodbye for now. And for those of you that are watching, we'll be starting our online concert in just a few minutes. So let's say goodbye to the band. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hej då.
Hi everybody, it's great to be here tonight. We will play and sing for you here from the tower of the Gothenburg Cathedral. We are Jaerv, and we will do the introductions of this concert in English because we know that we have a lot of people following us that's not from Sweden right now. But all the music will be Swedish though. So, without further ado, let's go.
Kärleken i världen är en underliger ting. Den reser och den svävar hela jorden ikring. När sorgen är som störst, då kommer glädjen igen. Ja, så går det till ut i världen, min vän. Ja, kärleken i världen är en underliger ting. Den reser och den svävar hela jorden ikring. När sorgen är som störst, då kommer glädjen igen. Ja, så går det till ut i världen, min vän.
Yes, we will continue with, well, actually I should introduce that tune. That was a tune that you wrote, Marcus. Yes. It's called Homage to Laggarfar, and Laggarfar was an old fiddler, right?
Yes, I was inspired by the music of Laggarfar. He lived in Dalarna in the old times. So I wrote a little greeting to him. Yes.
Yes, and we will continue with the song that's from the southern part of Sweden, actually the area where you, Marcus and Joel, are from.
Småland.
Småland, that's right. And this is a typical disco tune from the 17th century, a släng polska, after a fiddler called Sven Donat.
I just want to check my gear.
While he's tuning, I could tell you that it's very hot in Gothenburg today. We have is it the warmest day so far, I think? It's very warm here.
Yeah.
So we might need to do some tuning, but I hope you are okay with that.
We're in the what do you call the tower, the clock tower of the Gothenburg Domkyrka, the cathedral here, and it's really warm. The sun has been up all day, so I think you could call this place Gothenburg's oldest sauna today.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Och för er som inte pratar engelska kanske vi ska säga också att vi kommer presentera den här låten på engelska för att vi har många utlandslyssnare. Så det är därför vi pratar engelska ifall ni undrar.
Okay, we're going to continue with a piece that Joel has written. And Joel, I don't know where we're going to end up when we die or move on to the other side. I kind of hope there's a sequel to this life on Earth. And hopefully it's going to be the way that I think Joel envisions it. When Joel knocks on heaven's door and it opens on the other side, it's not going to be fluffy clouds or stuff. It's going to be a sweaty, warm atmosphere at a Scottish pub in Glasgow. And when he enters, all the fiddlers and other musicians are going to say, "Oh, there you are. We've been waiting for you. Let's play your tune."
Thank
Great. Vi ska fortsätta med en vallvisa från Dalarna. We're gonna continue with a herding song from Dalarna in the middle of Sweden. Och den här handlar om, det är en buffringsvisa, så den handlar om när man tog upp djuren upp till fäboden i början av sommaren. This song is about a group of friends. They are taking the cattle up to their summer village up in the Blue Mountains for the summer.
Snälla och springlöv och snötuppadå, kom alla våra jätter så snälle, för nu så ska vi buffra till bergerna blå, till Budom och sommarens glädje. Rosa och majros och liskurado, kom etter så bråder, för sola står högt och innan kvällen ska vi nå till Budom och sommarens glädje. Lång annan väg har vi att vandra idag. Kom nu alla så snälle, och nu får vi inte stanna förrän vi har hunnit fram till Budom och sommarens glädje. Alla de fåglar det sjunga så vält, och alla blommor lysa i de ängar, och jag och mina vänner vi vandrar idag till Budom och sommarens glädje. Till Budom och sommarens glädje.
Yes. We're going to continue with two pieces, or actually three pieces. I'm going to start with a choral from Dalarna in Sweden, mid part of Sweden. And then we're going to continue with a polska from Haverö, Medelpad, that we have interweaved with a new melody and lyrics that we've written ourselves, that we call The River of the Black Night. Svarta nattens älv. Så först en kyrkoral och sen en polska och en nyskriven melodi till det.
Ack kära, så säg, hur slapp du så väl igenom de portarna klara? Du är ju av döderligt släkte. Hugg svala mitt hjärta, hugg svalande Gud, min salighets flödande källa. Hugg svala mitt törstande hjärta. klippan den klaraste ström. Fick manna av himmelen regna, hugsvala mitt törstande hjärta.
Höljd i stadens klara sken, genom varje människobröst rinner svarta vattnets älv. Sommar, vinter, vår som höst. Du minns det ej i gatans brus. Du glömmer där i tidens brand. Tills en dag du tittar upp. Du står vid svarta älvens rand.
So I would like to introduce the band for you. So here we heard Harald Nilsson on vocals and guitars. On percussion we have Tobias Hedlund. On nyckelharpa and organ, Anders Bergsten. And on vocals and fiddle, Marcus Gustafsson.
And on flute and soprano saxophone, we have Joel Hagen.
Yes.
And
say Joel. Yes. Do you want to introduce it?
we will present for you a beautiful summer waltz composed by Marcus here on my left. And this is a memory from his childhood, running in the meadows, smelling the fresh green grass, seeing the beautiful golden sun.
Or either that or a kiss in June.
Here is Jag ser dig, I see you.
Jag ser dig. Ett sommarminne. Ja. Jag ska bara kolla stämningen. Thank you so much. Tack, tack. Nu händer det grejer.
Yes, now we're up for something completely different. As you might have heard and also seen, our percussionist Tobias likes to hit things. The more, the merrier. And he's got a lot of stuff with him. He also writes wonderful songs. And as a percussionist, you can use a lot like the underdelning.
Meter.
Yeah, a lot of meter and a lot of polyrhythmics.
Yeah.
And this next song has a lot of that. It's called Party Polskan, the Party Polska.
Tobias Hedlund on percussion.
Nu är det dags att färda oss en liten stund till medeltiden. We're gonna continue with a ballad, a medieval ballad. Och den här balladen handlar om liten Karin. Och Karin, hon är gravid och får reda på av sin svärmor att hon ska vara gravid i 7 år och 40 veckor. Så att hon förstår ju att någonting är fel och hon har blivit förtrollad av den här elaka svärmodern, så hon far hem till sin far Silibrand för att söka hjälp. This ballad is about little Karin. She is with child and she asks her mother-in-law, how long am I gonna be pregnant? I don't know. And the answer she gets is, you're gonna be pregnant for 7 years and 40 weeks. And then she realizes that she has become bewitched by this evil mother-in-law. So she takes her horse and rides home to her father Silibrand to seek for help.
And Silibrand is entering the stage, I guess.
Liten Karin hon spörjer sin svärmoder så, allt under den linden så gröna. Hur länge plägar kvinnan med barnet gå i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. I 40 veckor, allt medan 7 år, allt under den linden så gröna. Så länge ska du med det barnet gå i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. Körsvennen sadlar sin gångare grå, allt under den linden så gröna. Han sätter stolt Karin där uppå i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. Silibrand körde uppåt höga loftets svala, allt under den linden så gröna. Där fick han se sin dotter i lunden fara i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. Väläst mig vad jag nu ser, allt under den linden så gröna. Jag ser min dotter, hon kommer till mig i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. Härifrån får jag då jag var med, allt under den linden så gröna. Nu kommer jag igen, nu skall jag och dö i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. Min svärmor ska jag giva min silverskodda kniv, allt under den linden så gröna. Ty hon har nu förrått mitt unga liv i riden så, varliga genom lunden med henne. Herr Olof hans börjar kär systern sin. Ack ville du nu hjälpe allra kärestan din. Systeren gångar till brudekiste, så gör de 2 backstockor allt med stor liste. Så svepte hon dem ut i vitan lin och bar dem i doftet för modern sin. Och kära min moder, låt det fara eders harm i Tage eders gossebarn ut i eders harm. Under den linden, under den linden, under linden, så gröna. Under den linden så gröna. Jag haver förtrollat både himmel och jord. Allt under den linden så gröna. Förutom det ställe där brudkisten stod i viden så svepte de kisten med silketyg blå. Allt under den linden så gröna. Där föder hon 2 karska svenbarnen små. I riden så varliga genom lunden med henne. Under den linden så gröna.
Marcus Gustafsson on vocals.
Actually, a thunderstorm just felt kind of magic.
It was?
Yeah, I heard through the right back here. We have kind of a window that's not a window anymore, but I could hear the rain and the thunder coming through. So yeah, felt like a magic moment there. Okay.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I'm mending my roof. That's
You're
bad.
mending your roof.
Bad news.
Not anymore.
Okay, we're approaching the ending of our concert, but still we have some tunes left. And now we'll play another 1700s pop music for you. A Polonaise from Småland. Spelman spelar. A Polonaise and a song that's called Spelman spelar, which we have bind together.
Jag brukar säga att det här är, om man gick på disco på 1700-talet, så är det här den tidens diskomusik. Jag ska bara kolla min stämning.
alla vill dansa. Lustig Kersti lilla, känner du mig? Spelman spelar, alla vill dansa. Lustig Kersti lilla, känner du mig? Ja, visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Spelman spelar, alla vill dansa. Lustig Kersti lilla, kände du mig? Spelman spelar, alla vill dansa. Lustig Kersti, Kersti lilla, känner du mig? Ja, visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen. Visst ska vi dansa när vi är unga. Snart det kommer en tid när det hosar igen.
We reached the end of this concert, and we will play a final tune for you. It's a very happy one, and it's about a birthday party up in the northern part of Sweden that gets a little bit out of hand. And with this piece, we would like to thank you all for being with us here tonight, or also you that are watching this afterwards, because that's a possibility today to do that too. And we also want to say a big thank you to our crew that you can't see, but they are out there working with this sound and picture and everything. And also to the Swedish copyright organization of STIM, who helped us today to make this concert possible. So thank you to all of you.
Yes.
And yes, now let's go to the birthday party.
Ja, vi ska alltså avrunda med en sång som kallas Födelsedagsfesten. En väldigt glad sång om man inte lyssnar för mycket på texten.
som fyllde det 50 år. Och gästerna kom och 100 man, fast vägen var trånglig och svår. Det var laddat med mat för en 3 veckors helg, där fanns allt som en människa vill ha. Och i skänkens djup stod butelj vid butelj, det var skamligt hur mycket det var. För faderullan, lej och fadderé, faddera, skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, ja man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. Faderullan, lej och fadderé och faddera, skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, ja man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. började festen och bonden han slog de församlade gästernas glas. Med rom och genever och redo det vin, de såg och det till på kalas. Och de åt och de drack och de tittade i krok, det var glädje och jubel och sång. Och sen började slagsmål och finger på krok, så festen kom riktigt igång. För faderullan, lej och faderi och fadera, skåla och knivarna dra. Ja, det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, för man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. Faderullan, lej och faderi och fadera, skåla och knivarna dra. Ja, det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, ja, man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. Blixtrade kniven, de vråla och skrek om vem som var starkast och bäst. Och kvinnfolket stod bakom dörren och grät som alltid när karar och fest. Och bonden började skälpa sitt torn, han blev vilsken och elak och svår. Tills han kom i vägen för knivhalkar jon. Godnatt lille far och tår. Bonden kärring och tände som krut, hon skällde fast bara en stund. För gubbarna tog och bar henne ut och kastade kärringen i brunn. Och så gick de tillbaka och fortsatte slåss, så lampor och allt gick i kras. Och elden spred sig och flammade upp, ja, så det var ett riktigt kalas. För faderullan, lej och faderi och fadera, skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, för man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. För faderullan, lej och faderi och fadera, skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, för man ska vara glad. Man ska vara glad. Man ska vara glad. Man ska vara glad. Man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. Så slutade natten och solen steg upp, så gyllene, guldgul och grann. Den lyste så vänligt på kullarnas topp, och stugan som pyrde och brann. Och vid brunnens kant höll sig kärringa fast, och blev också av solen belyst. Tills hon släppte taget och föll med ett plask, och sen blev det alldeles för faderullan, lej och faderi och fadera, skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, för man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. Ja, faderullan, lej och faderi och fadera, skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång och butelj, för man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag.
Tack så mycket. Tack. Thank you so much.